leader of the United Kingdom's Conservative Party, KEMI BADENOCK, topped the list of trends over the weekend in the wake of her interview with The Spectator, where she stated that she identifies more with the Yoruba ethnic group than the people from northern Nigeria. Her comments sparked a wave of criticism. Let me take that statement really quickly. KEMI BADENOCK was quoted as saying, "I find it interesting that everybody defines me as being Nigerian. I identify less with the country than with the specific identity that is Yoruba. That's what I really am. I have nothing in common with the people from the north of the country, the Boko Haram, where the Islamism is. Those were our ethnic enemies. And yet you end up being lumped in with those people." KEMI BADENOCK. I mean, this was quite disappointing, Rufai. Really disappointing. Let me take a comment. This is from Cletus, who wrote, "Statements like these are harmful and create unnecessary division. Saying I have nothing in common with people from the north is unfair and wrong. Nigerians, whether Yoruba, Hausa, Igbo, or from any other group, are connected by a shared identity and the challenges we all face. Instead of dividing us, we should focus on what unites us as a nation. As the elections approach, politicians must avoid such language. Sadly, even some of our own politicians are guilty of making similar divisive statements during the campaigns. This is unacceptable. They should speak responsibly and focus on addressing issues like insecurity, poverty, and development, rather than promoting division or hatred. Leadership should unite us, not tear us apart." Dr. Abati, I know you've seen these comments. I mean, many people condemned KEMI BADENOCK with this statement. I mean, it is all in the wake of, the response from Vice President Kashim Shettima, who had actually told her you can remove KEMI from your name, telling her that Nigeria is the greatest country on earth. But we also know that Yoruba Nation activist Sunday Adeyemo, popularly known as Sunday Igboho, has called on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to caution Vice President Kashim Shettima against further verbal attacks on KEMI BADENOCK. Your comment, Dr. Abati.
All right, so still on this issue of Nigerian government and KEMI BADENOCK, there are two words, or should I say two statements that she made that is really causing a lot of wahala in Aso Rock. Yes, it cause wahala for Aso Rock, not before Nigeria. Now, the first statement is that she narrated how Nigerian police dealt with her and her family, extorted from her, and took her clothes, her footwears, and all that and all that. The second statement is that she said, "I am a Yoruba woman. I don't have anything to do with Northerners." And everybody was like, "Are you trying to bring division in Nigeria?" So honestly speaking, but in the issue of, how police has treated her, well, for me, I don't know, but people are coming out to attest to that, saying that it is true. Nigerian police has dealt with us. Now, people are coming out to say their experiences. At least I've watched like 3-4 videos of people coming out to say, Nigerian police don't do me shege.
This is the police. They stop the youth in Osun State. And they collect money from the youth. They make transfer to the police. And the Mr. Speaker is collecting back the money right away. With immediate effect. This is the officer. Mr. Speaker is here.
Officer, come here.
Mr. Speaker. Video taking it easy.
So my question now is, you watching this video, has Nigerian police been fair to you, or have they do you one or two? Drop your comment on the comment section. We really want to know. And maybe from there we get an assessment on how Nigerian police treat their citizens. So please drop your comment on the comment section. And then for the second one, that she said that she's just a Yoruba woman, that she doesn't have anything to do with Northerners. In fact, she went ahead to say Northerners are Boko Haram. Hey. Honestly speaking, this woman don't finish Nigeria. She don't finish Nigeria, honestly. But anyways, what's your thought about that? I'm going to allow you to watch the analysis that Channels Television gave on that and all they said about it, all right? As you are watching it, don't forget what I asked. Drop your comment on the comment section. Has the Nigerian police been fair to you, or they don't do you one or two? I hear say that they carry POS now. Nigerian police, they carry POS in case if you know few transfer or if you know cash. Or more you go slot your card, they go collect what they want collect. I don't say I had though. So drop your comment on the comment section if that is true or not. And then for the issue of Boko Haram and Northern Elders, no be for my mouth and I go hear them. Watch it as Arise TV analyze it.
The Spectator article that you referred to, when I reviewed it, it seems to me that KEMI BADENOCK has a reputation for straight talking. I don't know how you define straight talking. In that same interview, they asked her what she takes for lunch. She says lunch is for wimps. And this generated a lot of controversy, even in England there, with Kestama attacking her and saying, no, lunch is not for wimps. And she said, oh, people who take lunch breaks, you know, they are weak people, and sandwiches, you know, that she doesn't eat soggy bread, that when she's going to the office, she goes with her. Okay, that caused controversy. It was in that same interview that she says, I have nothing to do with the North. These are people who are into Boko Haram and all of that. Well, you may say, straight talking along that line, you may not want to excuse it, but that's how she felt. And she said, you know, there are so many other things that she has said that are considered controversial. What we must realize at the end of the day is that KEMI BADENOCK has made her choice. She says in that same interview that her ambition is to serve Britain. Her ambition is to rebuild the Tory party. So she's not really interested in what goes on in Nigeria. And I'm sure that her ultimate ambition will be perhaps to emerge as the Prime Minister of Great Britain tomorrow. Well, we now know that if she emerges as Great Britain Prime Minister tomorrow, we will not be so enthusiastic to be saying our daughter is now Prime Minister of Great Britain.
That is a solid point, Dr. Bati. I mean, if she emerges as Prime Minister, though, what is she going to do at that point with this diplomatic row already festering between her and the Vice President, Kashim Shettima? If you're attacking the Vice President, you might as well attack the President.
Sorry, I remember one thing. Sunday Igboho was said to have issued a statement. I consider that statement illiterate because the matter between KEMI BADENOCK and Shettima is not a fight between North and South. And Sunday Igboho was saying that in 2021, when his house was stormed, it was because he criticized the Buhari administration. It's not because he criticized Buhari administration. It was because they thought he was organizing the Yoruba region in an act of insurrection against the Nigerian state. That was the issue. So it's a false equivalent. The analogy is not correct to say that, oh, KEMI BADENOCK has said this, therefore, Tinubu should warn Senator Kashim Shettima and tell him to be careful not to talk against KEMI BADENOCK again. How ridiculous is that? The president, the vice president, the president is not the headmaster of the vice president. Well, that's why I think it's, in fact, the statement issued by Sunday Igboho that is more provocative. It's like pouring petrol on a matter that, you know, could just be overlooked. All
right. Well, Rufai, before I come to you, in another interview, KEMI shared a negative experience with the Nigerian police, comparing them to the British police. The conservative leader spoke with the Free Press, where she described the Nigerian police as thieves who stole her brother's watch and shoes. Let's take a look.
Do you trust the British police?
I do. But you know, remember my experience with the police in Nigeria was very negative. And coming to the UK, my first experience with the police was very positive. You know, the police in Nigeria would rob us. So when people say, oh, I had this bad experience with the police because I'm black and they're white, I was like, well, you know, I remember the police stole my brother's shoes and his watch.
His shoes?
Yeah, they took his shoes and his watch. It's a very poor country. So, you know, people do all sorts of things, and giving people a gun is just a license to intimidate. But that's not the bar we should use for British police. Obviously, it should be much higher. But my experience was so positive. When I was burgled, for example, the police were there, very helpful. They eventually caught the person. This is 2004, so 20 years ago. The police did catch, they did catch criminals, and now we've given them too much to do, in my view. So the police are the first line of defense for everything. And I think that burden makes it a lot harder for them to actually do the basics. And that's another thing that we need to look at.
Well, Rufai, Kemi Badenoch came under fire with a statement as well, because, I mean, they didn't even ask her about the Nigerian police. What was the need of highlighting the Nigerian police? Well, let me just bring some balance with, you know, with the criticism she faced with this tweet. This person wrote, Kemi Badenoch's statement highlights the unfortunate reality of police misconduct and the struggles many face in Nigeria due to systemic issues. While her comment may feel harsh to some, it's important to use such remarks as a starting point for constructive dialogue about the pressing need for reform and accountability. Nigeria is rich in culture, resources, and potential, but corruption and mismanagement have left many disillusioned. It's not about labeling the country as poor, but addressing the deep-rooted challenges that led to such actions. True progress will come when these systems are overhauled and the people are empowered to demand better governance and justice. I mean, while this tweet is quite apt, we cannot say that the British police is not corrupt either. I mean,
very corrupt.
What really is going on here with Kemi Badenoch?
Fantastically corrupt. Couple of things, Audrey, and please, I beg you, please give me time.
Go ahead.
Good. Very good. Number one, a lot of Nigerians are ignorant of what Kemi is doing. What is Kemi doing? Kemi is subjugating her own people to make Britain look good in the face of white nationalists. It's a deliberate attempt. These white nationalists believed in colonialism. They believed that black people are subservient to them. These were the same people that sold black people in slave markets. So these white nationalists have a mentality. Kemi feeds into the mentality by doing something called confirmation bias, that the black people you subjugated over the years remain down. So it's good for her to say these things bad about her country, so that the white nationalists and the supremacists she's trying to incur her, to get their votes, will continue to support her. And you know why she's doing that? Because she's also in a race with Nigel Farage of Reform Party to show who is more very right-wing and hardline. That's the game she's playing. When she wanted Nigerians' vote in Dulwich, she reached out to the Nigerian people, but it's a political game she plays. So most of the percentage of Nigerian people that comment on this matter don't know what she's doing, and I'm trying to be able to bring it to the fore. And that's why she will make lies part of her statement. Things like, oh, colonialism, we should, I think she said one thing, we shouldn't thank the British for colonialism or something, they should not pay reparation. I think she said that part of the
I remember some statement about reparation.
Yeah, she said the British should not pay reparation. After even the British themselves have accepted, because it's a thing among the white.
I think it was for what
right-wing nationalists want. Yeah. They don't want to pay reparation. They think it's a good thing. And that's why a girl that lived in VI, a woman that grew up in VI, will be citing all sorts of instances. Like, we don't get knifed in the UK. There are places I can't go in the UK, Peckham. I know a lot of people there, but Aomo, Mamasha, the Peckham. See, you will get knifed, Audrey. The insecurity is crazy. The UK police she's talking about, it was not the UK police officer that raped somebody. What she will have said was to address the case of the UK police officer rather than coming back to the Nigerian police. I'm not saying, please, and you see the delusion a lot of people also have is, they get me wrong. They say, oh, is Kemi not saying the truth? Yeah, the things are the truth. I'm not saying you don't speak the truth, but situate it properly. That's what Kemi is not doing. Secondly, she made another fallacy by saying she doesn't have anything in common with the North. She's a lying person. She lies too much. Go and check. But you know a lot about languages. Are we not in the same Kwa language group? The Benue Congo Kwa language group? So according to language and language classification, you have something in common with them. Secondly, she also made another fallacy by saying, no, you can't say, okay, I'm directly Yoruba and not wanting to identify with Nigeria, because this is the country that bet you. Secondly, she also made another fallacy by saying the people of the North are our ethnic enemies. They are never our ethnic enemies. We don't have any ethnic enemies in this country. You might have disagreements with people from other parts of the country, even with your fellow Yorubas, but it doesn't mean you're ethnic enemies. Because, and that's why I think the Nigerian government should write the British government about Kemi Badenoch. It is messages like this that spur a redentist and divisive nature.
Yes.
People like Lagospedia, these are the ones carrying this mantra. Yeah. And they are spewing like happened in the last election. Because when you start to say things like this, you forget this was the same narrative they were spewing in the 60s during the Civil War, when the October massacre happened. when people were killed in Kanu. This was the same narrative.
Right.
So that's incitement, and that's what we should write about. And lastly, please, nobody's saying KEMI should not point out their experiences, but we are saying situate it properly. Every nation in the world, if I'm to also write my experience about the UK, it's not that good. But she's not situating it properly because she wants to say these things to make the right-wing people love and support her for election gains.
All right.
It's not my business if KEMI becomes prime minister or not. Agula Agutete, she will do a tenure or two and leave there in the end. But it's the damage she will have given and the way she will have emboldened people with all sorts of racial confirmation bias that I'm scared about in the country.
So what do you think about this? What do you think? Do you think that she's correct? I know, of course, Arise TV, you know, a TV station in Nigeria that are trying to, you know, protect the image of Nigeria and all that. But you watching this, drop your comment on the comment section if that is true or not. All right. So thank you very much. In case you are coming across my channel for the first time, you are welcome. Please do well to subscribe to this channel, right? And turn on your notification button so you get notified anytime I upload a video, right? But for now, I have to say thank you and God bless you.